Alright, Knights of Apollo, welcome back to Middle-earth. Once again, we're playing Dawnless Days, formerly known as Rise of Mordor. And we've got a legendary matchup. This is the Elves versus the Dwarves in the Dead Marshes. So this is a cool one because the Dwarves, in a way, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's a siege battle, but it is like, it almost feels like a defenders versus attackers situation because the way the Dead Marshes play out. Now, I don't know, can they not walk through this water? If that's the case, it's going to make this pretty interesting. But you can see the Dwarves have taken a defensive, like, circle, almost like a noob box. But they're using the water here, the puddles here of the marsh to kind of help defend the gaps a little bit. But this, looking at the factions, for the Dwarves, it's all Erebor. And then for the attackers, we've got a mix of different elves. We have the Woodland Realms, and then we have the Linden Elves. So 2 Linden Elves armies, and then 1 Woodland Realm army. So we're going to see how this plays out. Now, way over here on the flank, we do have some horse archers. And I think this is going to be the biggest advantage for the elves here, is using these skirmishers to the best of their ability, really trying to soften up these forces from afar and using different angles, right? Like, look at this. They are getting destroyed right now because they're going to try to hold all these angles, but eventually one of these angles are going to be weak to archer fire. Same thing over here. I'm curious, they have archers over here. Are they opening fire, though? No, they're holding their fire because I think they're waiting for a really good opportunity to get some good shots off and try to get them, you know, kill some units at the flank. Maybe go for these dwarves over here. We got some crossbow dwarves. I'm pretty sure they can reach, no? I mean, yeah, the elves, I mean, they're elves. They should be able to reach. They're going to shift the archers a little bit here. And I think they're going to start opening fire. Let's see. Not yet. Not yet. There we go. Oh, yeah. And they're going to go for... Oh, my goodness. They're going to go for these Dwarven cross. Oh, this poor guy. You better hurry. He's like, there's an arrow. Ah, arrows aren't in me. In my foot. In my shoulder. Oh my gosh, this guy's still in it to win it. Look at these guys are littered with arrows, and they've only lost 5 guys. 5 guys. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem for the dwarves, is just the total archer firepower. We even have some horse archers doing some cycle charging. They're really softening up these warriors over on this far flank. So, if I'm the dwarves, I feel like you're playing to your weakness. You should be aggressive. You need to attack. Get your infantry in the fight. And look how cool this is. These elves over here looking awesome on this hillside. Just ready to go in. The Dead Marshes never look so very bright and cozy. I don't know. The Dead Marshes look pretty nice. Like, you could have a picnic here or something. You know, it doesn't look too bad. But yeah, the archers are still going at it as we speak. And they're going to try to look for some... oh, actually, they're holding fire. They're holding fire because I think the dwarves... Oh, no, the dwarves are moving up their crossbows now. So we'll see. And the balance of power is in favor of the dwarves, guys. So I think... Again, they have the advantage of infantry. They should try to get into the fight and get them stuck in combat. Sitting back here like this and getting shot is not going to do them any good. And then, oh, here we go. The elves might be charging in first. They've got their infantry into wedge formation. Oh, and they are getting hit by arrows, so they might want to speed it up here to try to save some lives. You don't want to lose too many to crossbow fire. Yeah, oh, there we go, there we go. They charge in here. Wedge formation. Elf versus dwarf. The epic matchup we've all been waiting for. So cool. Oh, he's going in. Awesome. Awesome fight going on there. And back over this side, they have engaged the infantry as well. And they've got a lot of cav over on this side too. Look at this. They've got some melee cav. Actually, like lance cav. And I think they're going to try to push their way through this side of the defense. This could be disaster. If they can actually break through here and get through the Dwarven defense, then the entire, like, open... Oh, look at this. Yeah, okay. Let's see if they can pull this off. This is going to be interesting. But yeah, if they can actually break through here, they're going to be able to get to the Dwarven vulnerable units, like archers and whatnot. Maybe the general. Let's see if they go for the push. Now, there's a lot of spears waiting for them. There they go. Oh, really good charge into those Dwarven spears. Excellent maneuver right there. Is it gonna be enough to break through? There is a gap right here they could try to use. The dwarves are now sending over reinforcements. Oh, look at these axemen. Dwarven Baruch Guard. They're gonna come in and try to support the infantry. No, they're calling it off because the elves are falling back, but I'm sure the elves are gonna get right back into this battle. Probably do another charge if they can. And now over on the other side, we also have the elves making a monstrous push of infantry. Wow, look at the colors in this battle. Look at this struggle. Absolute fantastic fight right now between the dwarves and the elves. I was a little worried about the start of this battle. A lot of skirmishing. I wanted to see the epic clash of infantry, and that's what we got right here. It looks really good. It looks really promising for the elves, honestly. They've got a lot of elites in here. The dwarves kind of relying on these halberdiers mixed in with some axe warriors. So we'll see how this plays out. And an interesting maneuver here with the archers. It should be fun to see what these archers are going to do. They're probably going to look for an angle to go for and try to weaken the infantry from afar and kind of support their own infantry as they fight through this Dwarven defense. Now back over to this front. We do have a gap in the lines. The elves have found a gap. The dwarves must plug this gap, but it's too late. Look at these, the shipwright nobles. These guys look awesome. They're breaking through the gap, and now we have a ton of cav that are... Oh, this is not good. The dwarves are playing... They're trying to fix the problem right now. They're trying to fix the problem. They got the reserves charging in, trying to get behind these elven infantry. An absolute struggle right now. Very fun to witness. Erebor Axe infantry. They're trying to regroup. There we go. They're going to be able to plug this gap with this reserve infantry. They desperately need to do that. They've got these axemen that are just getting slaughtered by the shipwrights. Shipwright. What are they called again? Shipwright nobles. So let's zoom out, get a bigger picture of what's going on. You can see the elves have broken through. But they are starting to break here. They are starting to break. The dwarves are regaining control. And this is the problem with the dwarves right now. They've got a lot of ground to cover. And now we have another... How did they sneak in? We've got another elven general who snuck past. And now he's going to get some hammer and anvil. Oh! Right behind the Erebor axemen. And absolutely shredding them from behind is not a good situation for the dwarves. They are on total panic mode right now, trying to maintain these front lines. Over on this front, this is not looking good. There's only 3-4 units, 5 units if you count the archers holding this front. And then you have all these elven archers that are just going to fire. And oh, what are they going for? Oh no! One of the elven generals died. I think it was the one that was flanking around. Yeah, they're going for the dwarves. Did not expect that. They're going for the dwarves from the flank. And I think they're going for this big blob right here. That's the beauty of the elves. they can fire from such great distances. Oh! Wreck that elf. Well done, dwarf, but the dwarves are under a lot of pressure, having to maintain this front line, also getting fired from the flank. It is absolutely just devastating situation. Then we got more of a fight going on here. The elves taking on these Erebor axemen over on this front. The dwarves are doing okay considering how they had a total panic situation where the elves have broken through, but it's still a problem, guys. There's still elves that are pushed deep into the lines of the dwarves, and the dwarves are going to have to send in their general. What are these guys? Mason reclaimers. They need to go back in there as well and reinforce that front line. Over on this front here, a bit of a tough situation, but I think they're going to be able to keep those elven cav forces back. And really, I just feel like at this point of the battle, guys, it's a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time until the dwarves crack somewhere and the floodgates open for the elves to rush in and get behind these dwarven forces. Now we've got a battle of elites. The general here, the Mason reclaimers, which has a general in it, are up in the front trying to reclaim the front line. The Norderland swordsmen having a good fight here as well. Ooh, what are these guys? Erebor axe warriors. They look awesome, fighting the good fight there as well. They looks really good. Things are looking really promising. The Dwarven lines are crumbling, mostly probably because of the archer support. And guys, this is not good. This is the floodgates that are waiting to open that I mentioned earlier. There are so many healthy elven units that are going to come pouring in if they don't maintain this front line. They've got to maintain it. Over on this side, the elves are full on smacking the dwarves around over on this front. And guys, they use the elven players. Now this is far from over. The balance of power is still dead even. I just think the elves have been playing this pretty well. I think that they've been using their strengths and been using their mobility, their archer superiority to overwhelm these dwarves. The dwarves still battling it out here, still trying to maintain this front. The dwarves have done a good job of holding onto this front line and making the elves pay for it. That's for sure. Got a lot of fallen cav. Now, this is actually looking decent for the dwarves. If they can quickly clean up the elves here. And again, the biggest problem is the archers and the cav. They're hard to pin down, especially if you're a dwarven army, because you don't really have... You don't have cav, and you don't have the mobility that you need, you know? So, yeah, the dwarves are actually doing really well here. They've recovered really nicely, and they need that. They need to hurry up and clean up these elves. You can see they're dealing with the cav. They're charging the cav head on. Some elves are shifting around. But they need to start moving troops over to this front. Move troops over to this front. It might be too late. It might be too late. This is really, really promising for the elves here. They're about to flank around the dwarves. You know what? The dwarves? Yep. I was just going to say this. I was like, the dwarves might just want to retreat and fall back and reform with the victorious dwarves over on this front. And then over here, the dwarves need to hurry up and defeat the elves. They got to hurry up and crush them because there's more elves on the way. And there we go. Big break. Guys, this is going to come down to the wire here. The dwarves need to consolidate right now. They need to do everything they can to preserve every unit that they have left. And then they most likely will hold up on the hill. Now, the good news for the dwarves is that the elves are mostly out of ammo. They don't have a ton of ammo here, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a... They have a little bit. They still are going to do some damage, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Over here, the dwarves are pretty much just locked in. They just basically have to kill as many as possible before they perish. And I think that's the best move here. I think these dwarves are going to fall pretty soon. These elves are overwhelming them. Nice hammer and anvil. This is what the elves need to do to save lives. It all comes every man mad. Oh, why did he stop the charge? Just get in there. Oh, charge could have been a lot nastier. But maybe he's worried about losing his general. And here we go. The dwarves have reformed. Have reformed up on the hill. Oh, this is going to be one hell of an ending, guys. This battle started off very slow, but it is ending with fireworks. A very climactic end here, and it's going to be close. The balance of power still even. Still very even. Look at the numbers, too. There's about 400 more elves, but I guess the quality of the dwarves are better than the elves. I would say that this is slightly in favor of the elves as we speak, and now the elves are pushing. Look at this. They're not letting this poor dwarven unit regroup with the rest of the army. Let's see if the dwarves send anything to help them out. It looks like they are. They're sending some axemen, but I don't think they're going to get there in time to save the unit. They are not. So yeah, you might as well just fall back, reform. There we go. It'd be kind of cool if these like depleted, shattered units could like, I don't know, link up with like healthier units and fill in some like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. It'd be hard to like program that or whatever, but here we go. This is basically the last stand here for the dwarves, and they can pull this off. Look at these dwarves over here, surrounded, outnumbered, but yet fighting on the best they can. And that's what you want to see from your troops. You want to see them try to take down as many enemies as possible before throwing in the towel. And I think what the elves are going to do is they're going to wait for these guys to clean up these dwarves and then link up, because this is a game of inches, a game of centimeters. You know, like it's going to come down to the wire. We do have some troops breaking, but it's such a depleted unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men here. Hopefully they don't break. And of course the archer fire is going to be coming in, and they're going to use up all their ammo, which is pretty much gone now. The balance of power, I would say, is very close to even, but in favor of the elves. And look at this. The dwarves are now down. They are now down to less than 1,000 men. They're at 906. I think they keep losing troops because of the archer fire, and I think they just used all their ammo. And then, of course, you have all the troops that are dying here. They finally break on this front, and now they're just like executing these dwarves. Getting them out of there. And so it's gonna come down to this. Who is gonna take this? The dwarves. Look at this. Look at this. The dwarf. Oh man, they have formed a circle formation. It's gonna come down to who's gonna take this. And you know, this is not going to be easy. It looks like the elves could easily overwhelm the dwarves here, but you know, the dwarves are built for these types of situations. They are built to maintain these kind of like noob square formations. You know, they're kind of like the Spartans of Middle Earth. And we'll see how this plays out. The elves, what they need to do from their perspective is I think they just need to attack on all sides. They want to try to attack as many places as possible, because what you don't want to happen is, say they just attack this frontal position. What's going to happen is they're going to be able to pull troops from other positions and reinforce. Like, that's why it's good to just attack on all fronts. And now it looks like they are committing, guys, to the fight. They are going to bring the fight to the dwarves. Look at this unit here. Oh, look at this cloak. Guards of Imladris. Oh, they've got pikes. Oh no. Yeah, that's not good. Do they have archers? Yes, they do. They need to fire down on those pikes right now, but they are not firing. They are, in fact, they're running. Oh no. These pikes are going to be pretty tough to deal with. Pretty tough to deal with. And then here comes a nice little charge by the dwarves. I like to see that, you know, getting a little bit of a charge bonus, not just waiting there, waiting for them to charge. And look at that. They are breaking some elves already. That is amazing. But the pikes are going to be the real challenge here. So hopefully they can... Oh, nice little maneuver there. And I like how the elves are going to try to circle in. Nice maneuver by the dwarves to go back into this... Oh, this is two armies desperate for a victory right now. Absolutely crazy fight as they... Look at that. Whew. Oh. Oh my gosh. They're trying, guys. They're trying. This front line is looking really promising for the dwarves. We are starting to see some dwarves break, but it's a depleted unit, not a big deal. And then over on this side, oh, they've got a thin line on the rear of this circle formation. They're gonna have to take on these archers. Archers not too big of an issue. He also has these axemen, which should clean up these archers fairly quickly. The cav is looking for an opportunity to charge. Uh-oh, the dwarves are starting to break over here. They might have to... It's still close. It's still close. Still close, guys. Still anyone's game. All it takes is a big chain route at this point of the battle. And the dwarves are doing a good job of using their general here as a reinforcer. Let's zoom in, get some good shots here of this fight. Beautiful, beautiful fight here. Let's zoom out because there's so much going on. Who's going to take it? Still 4 minutes left in the replay. Still anyone's game. This is the most concerning part for the dwarves. What the dwarves have to do is they have to win here and then use this gap and maybe flank around and try to get behind these pikemen, but it's going to be tough for them to do. These elves don't have any interest. They have zero interest into breaking. And honestly, the elves are playing this pretty well. They're keeping their troops alive. As long as you keep them alive here and keep these guys busy, that's all you need to do. And there you go, guys. It looks like as time goes on, this is looking like more and more like an elven victory. I think at this point for the dwarves to win this one, they have to rely on a general dying in a mass rout, which I just don't think you're going to get. And the dwarves, they should have focused down these pikemen here. Focus down the pikemen, but unfortunately, it's just not going to happen for the dwarves. And now the elves, the elven jaws of defeat, are going to come crashing in. I mean, you got to give props to the dwarves, though. They're still putting up a great fight. There are some elves starting to break 1 or 2 units. But, I mean, I guess it's still not over, but the balance of power is heavily in favor of the elves. We got some good reserves here from the dwarves on this side, but again, they have to maintain their post. You might have to pull 1 unit away from this side to help out this front. There goes general. I would say just send everything in at this point. If I'm the elves, just go crash in. The flank is kind of open here. Get behind these reclaimers. These reclaimers are really good. They're going to be tough to break. But, oh yeah, that's the nail in the coffin right there. The circle formation has been penetrated. And there goes a Dwarven general. Beautiful, beautiful fight right there. And there's troops breaking. It's unbelievable how long the dwarves can hold here. Unbelievable. I mean, that just shows how close of a battle this was. And how just stubborn the dwarves are. They look awesome. Oh my gosh. Look at it. They're just like, it's like the whole world is crashing down on a thin layer of dwarves, and they're just maintaining that line. Maintaining the front. And there we go. That's it. That is... Now that these guys have broken, the elves are behind enemy lines. They're going to go ahead and attack the next weakest point here. which is going to be this front right here. Iron Guards trying to maintain this front line. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. This was a fun battle, though. This was a fun battle. Very close battle. Wasn't, like, super close, but it was, I think the Dwarves had some opportunities to win this one. I think if the Dwarves got a little bit more aggressive, they could have won this one. I think just sitting back here and waiting for them to charge was their biggest downfall. I think they needed to really save their ammo, their archer ammo, on killing the elven pikes. And if they did that, I think they could have clawed out a victory. It would have been close, but it would have been intense. And now we're just watching this Dwarven last stand collapse. And the elves, I suppose, are the superior race. I guess I gotta be careful what I say on YouTube. That sounds a little weird. But you know what I mean. In Fantasyland, I don't know. Are you guys big dwarf fans or elf fans? Let me know in the comments. But let's end this replay and look at the results here. So this was sent in. Actually, there's 3 different. You have the Imladris and the Linden. I believe this was sent in by. Well, his name is different on Discord than his in-game name. On Discord, he goes by Astrobiz. Nonetheless, thank you for the battle. I think it was him, the Woodland. I don't know how to pronounce that name. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. That is going to conclude this battle. It was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, of course, don't forget to like and everything. It means a lot. And I will see you guys next time on the battlefield.